Hey guys, welcome to another episode of PixelStudio. Now you know where we share interesting bits of information so we can learn together about anything under the sun. It's all about discovering, learning, and enjoying as we go along. At the end of the sharing, we'll have a fun quiz to reinforce learning. So do join us for that session and participate along with the team here. Rack your brains out and see if you can challenge the brains we have here. For today, we have Roger Shah, who will share with us some facts about
captions and subtitles.
Nice. Take it away, Roger.
Okay, thank you, Indra. So for today's sharing, it will be about captions and subtitles. A lot of misconceptions have been made thinking that they are both the same thing when in fact they are not. Captions are transcriptions of dialogue. They usually represent the speech and audio. And what is included in captions will be the background noises, the speaker differentiation, and other relevant information that is inside the video content itself. So two kinds of captions. First is the closed caption, and then there's the open caption. Closed can be turned off by the viewer, whereas open is embedded, basically burned into the video, and they cannot be turned off. So you're stuck with whatever caption, open captions that came with the video. So if you can see at the bottom over here, this CC in a TV logo, this was created by a company called WGBH. Of course, you can create your own closed caption icons, and there are many different kind of variations. When you see this, it's commonly understood that your video had support for closed captions. Now, what is subtitles then? Subtitles are usually, but they don't always come with translation. They are usually used when the viewer doesn't speak the language in the video, and it assumes that viewer can hear the audio from the video. They are also time transcriptions of audio files. Usually they are developed before you release a production. So at the bottom here, I have a friendly chart for you to see. You can see the differentiation between a closed caption, a subtitles, and SDH. So SDH is actually a hybrid of both closed caption and subtitles. What is SDH? SDH stands for subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing. It assumes that the viewer cannot understand the language and they cannot hear. So right away, you can tell, why do you need captions on one hand and subtitles on one hand? Obviously, we are moving towards a point in time where all video content can be understood by everyone, regardless of their disabilities or their handicaps. So closed caption has generally gotten some traction in this regards. You can ask, why do we need both? Or perhaps we just need one. So they are both processes of displaying text on television, video screen, or any visual display today. This is from Wikipedia, of course. When we are all doing it, whether it's a caption or it's a subtitle, it kind of dilutes the meaning. At the end of the day, we want to provide something that is easily understandable, that helps in the understanding of the video, helps with your interpretation of the video. For example, if there's an audio sound effect, and you can have a little caption at the bottom that describes the sound effect. So even if you cannot hear, if you're hard of hearing, if you have any disability, you are still understanding the intended message that was brought forward by the producer. But because they are both used in today's context so often, generally caption and subtitles have been understood to mean the same thing. So let's revisit the history and some fun facts of captioning. It was in 1972 that the first open caption broadcast was published on PBS. It was a show called The French Chef. It was accessible to deaf and hard of hearing viewers. It was only in 1973, a year later, before the first ever closed caption broadcast. So you might ask, why did open caption came earlier than closed caption? The fact that you only had a burn-in embedded captioning first was because closed caption was still in very much development phase. And back then, this was not digital TV, this was analog TV. So the caption actually had to be sent as a single byte data with the video. So they had difficulty with allowing that caption to be turned on and off. So that's why in 1972, the first one used by television studios was open caption, just to provide some form of context. Other fun facts also included in the UK in 1979, BBC was the first broadcaster to include closed caption, and their technology was based on the teletext framework. I'm not sure if you guys in the audience understand what is teletext. We even had that in Singapore for a period of time. We use teletext for Toto. There was even some text-based games that you can play on teletext. So it was a means of sending meaningful text on TV, and they managed to adopt this method to produce subtitles and captions. Interestingly enough, it was only in 1980 that the second children's program was closed caption, and it was Sesame Street. And today is the longest running caption children program. But nowadays, of course, we have a lot of programs for children, and most of them are already subtitled or captioned. All right, moving on. So with regards to the FCC guide in America, this is of course in the United States. Their stand is that they want to ensure that viewers who are deaf and hard of hearing still have full access to programming. So their part of the regulations does not extend to home videos, DVDs, or video games. This is purely for content that is on broadcast channel like TV, for example. So this is some rules that they have established to help people who are trying to create closed captions. An easy way to remember it would be the accuracy, the synchronicity, the completeness, and the properly placed guidelines. So what does all this mean? It means that for accuracy, the caption must match exactly the spoken words in the dialogue and convey any background noises, like I mentioned earlier, to the fullest extent as possible. For example, if you have a sound effect like whoosh, so the captioning will be WHOOOPS. So it has to be accurate, and they must also be synchronous with the timestamp for a particular moment in time of the video where there is audio, audio sounds. You must provide the captions for that clip. To be complete, it means that the captions must be present throughout the beginning to the end of the video. You can't have gaps in the periods of the video where there is no caption for the audio. And last but not least, the caption must be properly placed to ensure that they do not block or interfere with important artifacts in the video. For example, if your caption is blocking the person's head, you might perhaps benefit by moving it upwards or to the left. So there are a lot of rules to take in consideration. Let's bring the spotlight back to Singapore for a moment. In Singapore, in 2006, MediaCorp and then Media Development Authority, MDA, they began to roll out real-time subtitling on TV news. So it was actually launched in two phases. First, in October, were the Channel 5 and Channel 8 news for English and Chinese. And then in December of the same year, Malay news on Channel Surai. Okay. So it was only in 2013 that we began to adopt the move towards digital broadcast. And with digital broadcast, of course, that we had more options with subtitling. And now with the smart TVs and the smart digital tuner coming out, we were able to transmit captions, have better quality pictures, high definition TV, multi-language subtitles. So for example, if you have an English program, it can be in Chinese subtitles or English subtitles. And this was all made possible because of the digital video broadcasting second generation terrestrial broadcasting standard. So in short, we call it DVB-T2, right? So this is the standard that's most commonly used in some Southeast Asia countries like Singapore, Malaysia, for example. It was only in 2016, following this timeline, that IMDA and the Telecommunications Standards Advisories Committee, or TSAC, drafted the first IMDA standards. And in these IMDA standards for broadcast, Section 8.1 specifically states that the specification for subtitling is to facilitate display using screen display capabilities while decoding the full television service. So they shall be handled as pixel. This is like a bitmap format for the subtitles. For those of you guys today, if you have time after this session, go to your TV, smart TV or whatever. You can see that you can go under options. For MediaCorp programs, you can turn it into English or Chinese or multiple subtitles or even Bahasa Melayu. So this is something to take note, where we are, as the rest of the world, progressing towards a more united front where subtitles videos can be enjoyed by everybody, right? So moving on, just to show you guys what are some of the simple closed caption formats. Previously, I've discussed with the team on how you can use open source software like Joomla to create your own subtitles and captions. So if you want to check it out, you can go Google Joomla, or I can provide you with some links in the references. But the most common ones are .srt or subread subtitles file. These are very common subtitles files that are compatible with a majority of platforms out there. Facebook, YouTube, the usual culprits. You can even just drag and drop a .srt file, which is essentially readable by a notepad, drag and drop into VLC player, and voila, your subtitles will work just like that. Other common ones also include .vtt. It's actually based on HTML players, so it works better on a HTML browser. And some of these notable platforms that are already supporting .webtt subtitles captioning includes Vimeo, Brightcove, MediaCore, Multi-Platform, YouTube. So you can see there are a lot of different formats. The important thing is working on the right format. And if you want to get started on writing your own caption, this is an easy way for you to get started. Like I said before, a .srt file can be opened by a text edit document. On your Windows or on your MacBook, the first line will be the sequence number. So you usually start with the number 1 and then followed by the timestamp, milliseconds to seconds to minute to hour. And then finally, the third line will be the line that you want to display on your video. It's very easy to create, and you can get started anytime you want. So if you're interested in knowing more about captioning and closed captioning, here are the links and the references that have been provided for your reading pleasure.
Nice. Interesting. I learned a bit about this. It's just like a very, very, very brief mention by when I was studying. Good sharing. Now, let's move on to the quiz.
I knew it. You and your girl.
He better give QR code. I was asking for QR code. Then he give you.
Okay, why are you cheering?
Next time you give QR code.
I'm the QR code gang, right?
QR code.
Okay, everybody is in. 6 out of 7. Shall we start?
Yes.
Sure.
Let's go.
No sound effect.
I don't know what it said.
Question 1.
What's my name?
Assumes that viewer cannot hear audio content and non-speech element. I don't know.
Too late already.
So caption assumes that the viewer cannot hear.
Yeah,
That's
correct.
That's why you have to provide a translation and a description of all the non-speech elements. I realize there's a typo there, my bad. But subtitles always assume that the viewer can hear but cannot understand. That's why subtitles
captions
usually are presented in a
okay, makes
different
sense.
language.
Yes, now I understand.
Okay.
Why was I
something-
thinking about
I
SD?
was thinking what? Is it caption or subtitle? Is it correct now?
Question 2.
2.
What does SDH stands
Oh.
for?
Oh no.
MCQ.
Did subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing, subtitles for the deaf and handicapped, subtitles for the disabled and handicapped, or synchronous digital hierarchy?
Oh, I think that one.
Ayo.
That's right. It's
Are you?
subtitles
I'm assuming that's
for deaf
Shafiq.
and hard.
Synchronous.
Yes.
I'm tricking you actually.
No, I thought. Nice.
So open caption first broadcast in 1972, a year
True or
earlier
false?
than
Is it?
closed caption. Is it true?
Open
or
caption
false?
first broadcast in 1972. Open caption first broadcast in 1972, man.
All right.
72, 73,
true.
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it was easier
73.
for the subtitles to be burned into the video.
Hmm.
In what year did BBC first use closed caption in the UK broadcast?
Oh dear.
This was in the UK where they made use of teletext technology, and it was 1979. Good try.
Hey, do we have 9? Oh, one got wrong. Okay.
Question 5. What was the second children TV's program to be closed captioned?
Bingo.
Is it Fraggle Rock, Thundercats, The Flintstones,
Thunder,
Sesame Street,
Thunder
Transformers,
Cats.
or Teletubbies?
My
Correct.
favorite Sesame Street until now.
I got
Thundercats is one of my favorite too. Transformers.
I thought it was the first one. What was the first one?
The first one is in 3, 2, 1, some unknown children's TV show.
I was
Wow.
thinking this was the first one, yeah.
No, none of the
At first I saw thought.
options here are the first one. Okay,
The
which
phone
of
is
the
not an
following
example. Okay.
is not an example of FCC closed captioning rule or guideline, if you will?
FCC reminds me of IPPT, like something fitness center.
It sounds like it.
right?
Fitness
Yeah.
and Conditioning Center. And the answer is a variety.
Oh,
Variety is not
yeah,
an
variety. Yeah. Oh gosh. Placement
Remember
is
it-
yeah, placement is correct. Yeah, cannot block the head and stuff like that. Yeah.
correct. The last one
Oops.
is actually synchronicity.
Yeah. Yeah, correct. Synchronicity. Okay.
Viscosity.
Viscosity.
So next
Oh,
question,
hello,
which
ah.
of the following is a Singapore digital broadcast standard? So there are two pictures. Pick the one that I mentioned earlier.
Oh gosh.
Which is the most photoshopped? I don't know.
Oh gosh.
What's the standard, eh?
Obviously, these are the logos of the two different standards of broadcast.
Hey, how come one is a trademark and the other one is not? What is this?
Oh,
Oh, I think that's a clue.
Sorry, these are the only free source I could find. Correct.
T2.
So the T stands for terrestrial and the S stands for satellite. It's a form of signal, but it's not used in Singapore.
Satellite, does that mean the ones in Malaysia they use S2?
No, I believe Malaysia use the same thing as us.
T2 also. Oh, okay.
But
Oh,
correct me
okay.
if I'm wrong.
Standard. I don't know.
Hmm. All right.
Furious.
Question 8. Which of the following are not the benefits of digital broadcast channels for TV?
Wow, got two question marks.
Is it better quality pictures, or superior sound, multiple language subtitles, or smaller file size? Remember, it's not a benefit of a digital broadcast channel. All the thinking expressions.
Yeah, same thinking. The superior sound or smaller file size. Cannot be so.
I mean, I guess we work with digital files. We know how painful it is. Like you can go up to like
Correct.
4 gigabyte or whatever, not just for half an hour.
And the argument for digital broadcast is, again, of course, now we have Dolby HD sound, surround sound, so they are able to provide more superior sound.
Yeah, so the more
effects.
functions, the higher the. Okay, makes sense. Yeah.
Correct.
But who
Okay.
tikam the superior sound? That one also I want to tikam that one, but better go with the other one.
So what is the company working with Singapore government to roll out subtitles for digital TV programs?
Titles
Oh, I don't know what's this.
Oh gosh.
So MediaCorp is a company that works with Singapore government to roll out subtitles for digital TV programs.
yo.
So
Fun fact,
MediaCorp. Oh, I see.
MediaCorp used to
Yeah.
be known as TCS.
Shampoo coil.
Name a platform where .srt caption is supported. Just anyone. I've mentioned a few, so just give me one. Okay, YouTube.
Oh, really?
Seems like everyone answered YouTube. So Facebook.
Hey, I put
Vimeo.
Facebook and yeah, I put
it's all
Facebook. and-
accepted.
No,
It's
I
all
think
accepted.
because Facebook is one of the alternate answers, so it would just show as YouTube anyway.
Oh yeah.
Are you guys ready for the winner?
Definitely not me. Definitely not me.
Oh wow, it's a three-way tie.
Oh,
four-way
not
tie,
bad, not bad. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hannah got another one, right? So yeah, 4-way tie. Woo!
Oh wow, okay. So give 10 points to Hana. That will make her.
Yeah.
I
think this
Shizuku
one-
not bad. Shizuku. This Shiko's okay. Shiko's. I don't know what's your name. All right, cool. Thanks, Roger. It's very interesting. I think it's very relevant to what we do. But we don't do those kind of broadcasts. So if you're in the private production hubs and you're working with, you got contract from MediaCorp and stuff like that, then this will come in relevant. It's not so straightforward, but good share. Interesting. Thank you for you guys for participating. Thank you for watching this video, and we hope you learned a thing or two about today's subject and how many questions you managed to get it right. You managed to get more than 8, 9. Can you beat our top scorer, 4 top scorers for today? We also like to know what subjects you'd like us to share, and please let us know through the comment. And if not, PixelStudio signing off. Take care, everyone, and bye for now. Wave, guys. Bye.
Bye bye.
Fairy dust.